The GOAT, it's the GOAT, it's the give it GOAT. The GOAT, it's the GOAT, it's the ever GOAT. The GOAT, I got a little tied up on that, but it's the GOAT.
Welcome to episode 6 of the GOAT Pod. GOAT Pod. I am Wendell Holland. For those of you that do not know, I was on Survivor. I am joined by my bestie from Survivor 28, Survivor Cagayan. They say it's one of the greatest seasons of all time. The host of the Purple Pants podcast, the other half of Bryce and Wen, the legendary Bryce Isaiah. How you doing?
What's up, Herd? I am very excited to be in the basement of the GOAT Manor today, and I'm so excited for this episode.
And I am joined by a son of a legend himself, one of the historical Cookout Alliance originators of Big Brother 23, the son of Smoking Joe Frazier. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek Frazier's in the building.
Thank you so much for having me once again. I guess I made it past episode 5. I'm shocked. I thought Wendell was going to fire me after that episode, but I will say I am here in the bathroom that also could be a bathhouse if me and Reza want to enter it together.
You know what? Enough. It's too early for this. And last but certainly not least, it was such a pleasure to meet this man in the GOAT Manor. The one and from Shahs of Sunset and many other things, the businessman, the real estate man, the actor, the handsomest man I know, Mr. Reza is in the building.
What is up? When it is so good to be in your presence again. You were very, very missed at the press tour that we did for the GOAT. So just know that everyone was thinking about you and missing you and wishing you were there. And I want to make everyone who's listening and watching a little jealous because we did not get to keep our goats from GOAT Manor, but you could do a little obstacle course and get you a goat. And mine says season 1, Reza Farhan, the GOAT on it.
Wow, my man. That's dope. That's dope. Well, this was episode 6 was an episode. And we are very, very lucky to have you on here for this episode. I know it's going to be interesting talking this one through with you. But thank you for joining us. I say we just jump right into the episode.
Before we jump into the episode, I just think that we have to give Reza his flowers. I have been a fan watching Reza for years, and to learn that my best friend is out there with Reza, that just made my heart so happy. And Reza, when you were out there, you were serving the looks on the labels. You were out there just delivering for the girls. And so I just want to just say thank you for that because you were killing it.
Well, thank you for sharing your bestie with me, because had I not had him in the house, it definitely would have been a much less pleasurable experience for me. And as far as the looks are concerned, Wendell didn't just come from Survivor. He won a motherfucking $1 million, dollar bill, y'all, on Survivor. So I knew I was going to be in the presence of some greatness. And my old ass was like, yes, I have 9 seasons, count them 9. Because if we're talking about who's the GOAT in that motherfucking house, I had 9 seasons of my own motherfucking show. So I knew I had to bring some outfits because there's some people that, had a little crumb under their belt from what their past was. So coming in to a show called The GOAT and having 9 seasons under my belt, it was nice not having crumbs.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, because, Wendell definitely was not bringing those looks. So please do not give him that credit, okay? Just so we know.
That $1 million moniker just somehow makes the Fendi and the Gucci wah, wah.
He played twice though, Reza. The second time wasn't as favorable, but just so you know.
You know what, Reza? It's funny that you mentioned me winning Survivor as soon as we jumped on the pod, because I think
here we go.
When I walked in the house, I think you said something about it too. And I kind of gravitated towards you and Jill early when I walked in the house. Just that's where I landed on this first day. I was wondering what your first impressions were when you're walking into the house, who you're seeing and how you're feeling.
Well, my two were Lauren Speed Hamilton and Jill Zarin. And I walked in and I was such a fan of Lauren Speed Hamilton's. Their season, the first seasons of Love is Blind was the season. And I fell in love with their families and their love story. So to see her there, it was like a warm hug. And then to have Jill, who'd already backstabbed me once before I knew her ass. She wrote an apology card and bought me chocolate chip cookies because we were invited to a group dinner. This bitch had been fired from her show for being shady as fuck and telling people not to film with Bethany Frankel because she got her own show, spin-off, talk show, millions. So she was going around telling people not to film with her, and Bravo likes to teach lessons. Not like a little slap on the wrist. I'm talking old biblical, like eye for an eye lessons. They fired her ass fast. And this bitch is at home in her New York apartment watching my show, not knowing who the fuck I am, talking mad shit about me on the Twitter, saying Bravo's gone downhill since he's been on our, on the network, X, Y, and Z. Cut to, we get invited to a dinner group. I go to the dinner. She goes to the dinner. I get that apology card. We get cool before we knew each other. She was on my shit list for talking shit about a gay man that she didn't know. Talking about he's nasty. He's at a gay bar sniffing an armpit or licking an armpit. Some twink rolled up on me, had his arms up like this. And I just went in a little bit. It wasn't disgusting.
Ain't nothing wrong with sniffing an armpit. I'll tell you that.
She just went in. And I was like, who is this bitch? And why is she coming for me? I don't even know her. Then we got real good. But then I come to find out, she wasn't my friend. So it was, at the moment, it was amazing seeing her, but it went downhill. When you came in and I found out you won $1 million, to me, that's like having a PhD or doing something incredible, So I was so impressed by it, the commitment, the dedication, everything it takes to get to there. So obviously I gravitated towards you. And then when the homos rolled in the house, it was like, okay, I'm not the only non-white here when I saw other non-white people. And then there were homos in the house. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be comfortable here.
Whew. Reza, can we confirm, was that Derek trying to sniff your underarms? Was it Derek?
No. If it was
not,
Reza would remember.
We would be together.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would have went somewhere.
Yeah, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen. You guys just don't know it. But I will say this: it sounds like, since Wendell said it's not wrong with armpits, it sounds like Wendell has been to the Eagle already with us.
No. I haven't been to any of those kinds of bars before. What I said is that.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, I did go to where'd I go with y'all before? I have been to Woody's with you guys before.
That doesn't count. We're not counting that shit.
I haven't been to any of these more risque bars. Now, the only thing I'll say is, Reza, you dropped a lot of tea there in the intro. It's good. Yeah, you had me at a loss for words. If this is an indicator of what this pod is gonna be, it's gonna be a pod.
I love it. I love it. This is why I relate to you so much, because you know why? You get right to the fucking point. You got time to be around no bush. You don't like me, I don't like you. I love that energy.
With me, the thing my mom always tells me, she's like, you could be in a room with 100 people and that one person you don't like will know you don't like them. Why can't you be more PC about it? Be more sneaky. I'm like, it's just not me. If I don't like you, I don't like you. I don't try. I don't do anything, but you will know, because it's as if you're not there.
Is there a world, my good friend, is there a world where this school of thought is not always the best in a competition show? To wear it on your sleeve if you don't love somebody.
100%. Listen, I couldn't stand Devon, but at the Pop the Pimple competition, once you let her go, I was like, oh shit. They talked before this competition. They're both from competition backgrounds, whatever they have. Because Brandy Glanville called me before Traders and said, I'm going on a vacation. I have a feeling you're going on the same trip. And I was like, oh So I had a feeling maybe y'all agents, because I didn't see you two talking too much in the house. But once she went to pop a pimple, I knew my ass was grass because you had an alliance with her. Jason had an alliance with her. I was like, oh, hell, I'm dead.
No, so I talked with Davon. So I knew Davon in real life only through the CBS, reality events and stuff.
Of course.
I didn't know anyone that was going on the show. I thought James Wallington from Amazing Race was an alternate for our show in the hotel with us before the show. And I'm messaging him and he's like, yo, I'm an alternate. And I'm like, I hope you get in here. He didn't. When I walked in the house, I recognized Davon. I recognized Joey. That's who I knew. And I recognized Tech from the TV. But so in the house, we did have that quick conversation day one, like, hey, we don't need to talk much. We get each other. I thought that was all I needed because CBS fam, we're both Black people in the house.
That's what I thought with Jill. And I thought once in the beginning we could keep it and it would stay. But that pillow talk, I don't know if it was lesbianism, blood sisters, what they were doing in that girl room. But whatever it was a bond that could not be broken, my man.
So you're right. So like I wanted to go to the final with, first of all, I think early in the show, I sat with, I think you and Jill, and I was trying to make something happen with us. And I knew you were close with Jill. And I'm like, I would go to the end with these two. But then I'm like, you know what? I go the end with Davon. I go the end with anybody. But my true alliance was our room.
Yeah.
That's who I wanted to protect first. And you were my number one. And you and I were kind of handling Justin as far as trying to school Justin to the game.
In this episode, we're at episode 6, and this theme of this episode is, of course, reality shows. Okay. I would like to say it was a little bit of a, if I'm correct, it sounded like house theme. So like Big Brother, I would guess. So, of course, you guys have a conversation in the kitchen with Jason talking about, how it's tough to lose Alyssa. And also I have in my notes once again, and how there was no dick conversation last night with Alyssa being gone. So I need to know, what is the dick conversation that's been happening throughout this season that Wendell has amnesia that he would not talk about, that I need to know what was the dick conversation about?
So Alyssa's bed was across.
Was it about Joe?
Next to mine. First of all, it was about 3-1. I'd be like, hey, so what if so-and-so wanted to suck your dick? He'd be like, honey, you need to buy me a couple of pairs of shoes. I'm not going to just let you suck my dick. And I'm like, what if the shoes were Skechers? And he's like, no, honey, they need to be like Louboutins or something. So I would give him these scenarios of, would you do this sexual scenario under these circumstances? And he would always have to get a gift. And I'm like, what? This little sugar baby over here was getting, so I literally have a video in my phone from Goat Manor where I'm talking about the dick talk and poor Wendell, because he was such an ally at the time. And in the video, I'm joking he's going to become anti because of all the dick talk he had to endure because of me and Alyssa.
Wow. Now, Wendell, what?
How could you forget that, Wendell?
How could you forget that?
I just have a bad memory. Some things just fall right out of my head. I remember we had a fun room. I remember there was a lot of suggestions.
It sounds like fun. It took us 6 episodes to figure out what this dick conversation was about. Thank you so much, King.
Yes,
letting us know what it was about.
Now, Wendell, is there anything you would do for a pair of Skechers?
Yeah.
Are they slip-ins or not?
They're the pump-ups, Reza. They're the pump-up ones. Okay.
They're the light-up ones, babe. They're the light-up ones.
Any comment?
I no comment. There is nothing that I would do for a pair of Skechers.
Okay. Or I want to
Good to
cut to
know.
also, because we do need to talk about you once again, because you told us last episode that you apologized to me and Bryce, and it doesn't seem like you still didn't get it. Wendell tells Joe that he voted for him.
Big mistake.
Why would you do that?
Now, in the episode, it looked like I kind of let him know. I mean, I could have lied to him, and then it would got back to that I lied to him. I think we kind of knew who was voting where after votes happened. So, like, I think Joe knew that me and who voted for him with me? Was it CJ and maybe Reza? Who'd you vote for? Pal?
Yes.
Yeah. So Pal was mad at you. Yeah. So I think that ultimately, yeah, it probably wasn't the best decision to let him know. But I just think you got smart people in the house. People are going to understand who voted for who. But I think the best move, Reza, I said it last episode. I think our crew should have, as a voting block, just picked one person to vote for last episode instead of us throwing votes every which way and a bunch of votes landing on our two of our people.
100%. And that's when I realized Jason didn't stick to his word and he voted for Tech. He switched his vote. And I was wondering where the switch up was coming from. I was suspecting that it had to be from Davon or you, but I didn't think you were being cool with us and then separating him. It didn't make sense to me. So I was suspecting it was coming from Davon because the explanation he gave me was, oh, Tech was, throwing that $1,000 thing around, and that's why I voted for him.
So
have you guys not talked about that?
we alluded to some shadiness, and we just said that there might have been some other things in play for why people voted for him.
It was my favorite thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It was like, it kind of felt like that scene in Coming to America when the guy opened his coat and he had the toothbrushes and the hair dryers and shit. Tech took me in a closet and he went like this and he flashed a note, and I about peed in my pants. I about died. I was
he
like,
this. A note?
He had a note. This was some next level. It was so good. And it didn't make the show.
It was a note that said,
"Do you want Skechers?"
If there were two dicks in the rooms and two pairs of Skechers. No, I'm kidding. The note basically was like, please don't vote for me. I suck your dick. It was kind of like straight.
Reza, you is staying for every episode.
Do you remember? Well, no. Do you remember Boys in the Hood when she's like, "Dope boy, you guys"? It didn't say that, but basically, it was kind of like that.
It was offering something. Okay.
It was a good offering.
A good offering, and so that turned some people off to Tech, and I guess might have directed some votes at him that night, and so we are trying to understand, because I'm like, I thought I had this alliance, and now all of a sudden 2 of my allies are sent home. Now it's like me and Rez. I don't know what's up with Jason a little bit, and it's time to figure things out.
At the start of this episode, though, we see Davon and Jill talking, and they're saying like how they're number ones. Is that apparent in the house at this point, or is it interesting to learn that, seeing that?
I think it's apparent.
Okay.
Apparent? Jill was in pocket. Davon had Pow and Jill in pocket. Like, Jill was so in pocket that she was, I don't know if she was sucking ass or titties, feet, or whatever, giving Davon pedicures back in that room. It was lockstep. Jill would be behind Davon. If Davon said something, Jill would pop out like a pip, like she was laughing, and then Jill would be like, yeah, like whatever. She would co-sign from the back, like, yeah, like it was out of control to see this old lady, 60 years old, in pocket like this.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I still love Jill. I'm still friends with Jill. So I'm gonna just put that out there to the world. But I will also say, Reza, what I've noticed about this friendship, and in the episode we hear them talking about, you're coming to the Hamptons with me and all this stuff. I've noticed that they were friends to where they would even take themselves outside of like we're all hanging and stuff, and then like they just go off and be away, and it's like, yo, can y'all just act like y'all are friends with us?
So the best experience I had in Goat Manor was orchestrated by Wendell, and it involved getting Lauren Speed Hamilton, unfortunately, out of the house. And what they didn't show was all of the people going up to Justin and crying, saying goodbye to him, because Da'Vonne wanted him out on some personal beef. Da'Vonne threw a competition on some personal beef. I lost all respect for Da'Vonne in the house because she'd preach one thing but execute on another level. It wouldn't even I wouldn't even think to throw a competition. I was trying to make a good show. I was in Da'Vonne and Wendell's world. I was not even a squirrel. I was a fucking nut, and they were playing with me. That's how good they were. Da'Vonne was so good. She was playing with us. She was throwing competitions. She would give nothing. She'd be in her room, and like Wendell's saying, they wouldn't participate when it was a pool party. They would literally be like, oh, it's a pool party. We don't care. We're going to go and conspire and just do our own thing over here. And for me, that was really odd because I wasn't coming in trying to change my financial trajectory. But now in hindsight, I look at Da'Vonne like, bro, this lady, her interviews were speaking to her as the winner. I did something in Goat Manor, and I'm going to do it again right now. Bring. Hi, my name is Da'Vonne, and I saw this Coldwell Banker, right? I saw that house online. Yeah, that listing. Yeah, that's the one. Now, how much do I need for a down payment? Okay, because I'm going to have about $200,000 in about 2 weeks. Like, yeah, I would like to put an offer in. Yeah. Can we talk in 2 weeks? Because I'm going to have the down payment. Oh, I got to run. There's people coming. I'll talk to you later. Click. She was speaking to herself as the winner of this competition. The interviews, everything she was doing. And I'm coming in here with 9 seasons of my own show under my belt, getting clipped as the first person on Traitors. I did not give any Fs. I was there to have fun and make a good show. You guys, this poor lady has done 50 shows and never been the winner, and she is a competition beast.
Okay, wait.
She's
now
so
hold on,
good.
Reza. Hold on. Not too much. Oh my listen, I don't want this to ruin our date and our relationship. Okay, so bear with me, okay? Because I do got to stick up for my sister, being from the Big Brother family. Okay, yes, it is a game. So with her coming in, it's a game, and I understand. Like everybody, some people have different agendas, have fun, make some fun green screens, whatever. You're successful. You got money in the world. You're that bitch. We know that. But Da'Vonne, who's never won, who's like, I'm fighting for my daughter, I'm trying to put some money in my bank, is not on the same level as you. So it's like her coming and playing the game. I can't get up. Like I can't knock her for wanting to fight hard to win the game. Now I'll let Bryce take over. That's just my thought. I think, love you.
Yeah, I think, and obviously I love you, Reza. But you know, I think from watching Da'Vonne all these years, the games that she has played, there has been, I want to say maybe 3 times where she was robbed, like legitimately, like sabotaged and robbed. And I think that, like, had you played any of those games with her prior to this, I think that your experience with her would be drastically different. But it is very.
I felt it. I felt her feeling robbed. She came in the house with a deficit, and that's how she showed up. Her cup was not full. She had nothing to give people who weren't on her team, and she was playing cutthroat and to win. And I have a respect for that. I feel bad for it. Here I am, a nut, not even a squirrel. She was the squirrel. I was a little nut rolling around that house. She was playing with me. And I feel bad in hindsight because she was there operating from one place, and here I am like like I'm here to have fun, make friends, create good TV, which is what I do. And we were like this, right? Because I have respect for it, I understand it, but I feel so bad for her that she didn't get to participate with everyone that was there participating in the same way that she wanted to participate. She wanted a bunch of people to play the game the way she plays the game, and that would be creating a show. And I was there like, oh, the producers need a pool party. I'm here for you. Let me be the pool party guy. Let me do what needs to get done.
To that, I do want to say one thing, Rez, and I'm glad that we have you on the pod, because my good brothers have been annihilating me every episode. I don't know if you've seen the other episodes, but they've been killing me about just, anything I say about Day, they gonna kill me for it. So, but what I wanted to say was, regarding coming into this game, you want to play hard from your experience at Traders, but you want to make a great show because you're TV.
Right.
And from my stance, I played really hard my first game of Survivor, and I was like, if y'all don't know, I was on the show.
Oh God!
Oh my God.
I played on
every episode.
A couple times, I played Survivor a couple times. Anyway, from my experience, my first time, I just wanted to win my first time and keep my head down and win. My second time, I played a little more loose, and my second time, I think there are people that were on the island with me that I'm not like friendly with anymore. And when I left that, I was like, man, 39 days on an island, and I'm not friendly with certain people for the rest of my life. So then I thought, you know what? I can go into these games and I can play hard from my Survivor pedigree, but I can also find a way to say, I'm going to find a way to have fun, and I'm going to wait.
You were a diplomat. You were chef's kiss, a consummate professional, you were sugar. Like, you were perfection in the house. I'm too emotional. I'm not like you. I'm just like Kristen. I talked mad shit about her exit. And then guess what? Who was the sequel? The less, like, I was exactly like her. It was amazing to sit and watch Joe go, did you see that bitch talking all that shit? And look at how his bitch ass left the house. But
well, I do want to get into, go ahead, Bryce, before you go, because I want to get into the GOAT to see who wins the GOAT this week.
But I mean, since we here and Reza is here, how would you categorize your exit? A tropical storm? A 2 or 3? What would you give your exit then?
I mean, I would have to say Kristen's was because of the exit, the whole, the men, you guys are you so this and so that? And I'm thinking, is she playing the same game? Because the lady juices that are flowing out of the lady circle are so intense. There's no male energy in this house. Zero. How are you going there? There's not even any male energy. It's mostly gay. What are you talking about?
You know what? You said that, and I agree. I'm like, there was a lot of gay energy.
We did not have it out for you. And Wendell kept saying, we can't focus on women. It's a bad look. Don't do it. And I'm like, get those bitches out.
Me and Reza can Reza, I have to leave this podcast. I have. You're gonna get me in trouble. I have to leave.
But isn't that weird that it was like, oh, y'all are mansplaining this and that and like big bad men, but it's like our alliance is me and my gay brothers. You know what I'm saying? It's the three of y'all and me in the room, and it's like we're not doing the man thing, and we're not in a guys alliance. Out of self-preservation, we got together to knock down the girls' alliance.
Yeah,
but
mine
was like a 7, Bryce.
Okay,
okay. It was a 7 with aftershocks.
Oh, Reza, remember when you threw your goat?
Oh,
yes.
I had this. I'd work out down there every morning. The next morning. Please let me be able to open this bag right now. I totally forgot. This is my man bag.
I'm so jealous.
Yo, you threw your goat. They made you burn it, but
Yeah.
I'm working out in the morning. I found a piece of your goat downstairs. It broke off, and I stole it. I'm thinking about putting this on a necklace or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. I have some stuff from Goat Manor too. I have some mementos from Goat Manor.
Wow,
I love that.
About that. I was
Wendell,
like,
what does your shirt say, Wendell?
Oh, it's Grinder.
Yeah, I thought it was Grinder or something.
Grind 24/7, 365. It's like the periodic table.
Wendell, do you use Grindr to get like food delivered to your house?
I know what you're trying to do here. I do not use that app. But let's get into the episode a little bit.
Yes, let's get into it. So we have the GOAT challenge. It's called Take Me Out. Okay. What happens with this goat?
Reza, can you tell us where is Take Me Out challenge at in the house?
Yeah, where was it in the house?
Is that the one with the oatmeal?
Now the
Yes.
GOAT challenge is the oatmeal, yeah.
Okay. It was in the front lawn of the house, the same spot where we played the Balance Your Coconut.
Okay.
Oh, so we're in the front. We're in the
In
front.
the motor
Okay.
court. Where the goat at?
They've been
Okay.
making fun of me all season because we only do challenges in the house. And I keep on trying to let them know that half the challenges, they took us on boats or choppers to different locations. And y'all didn't see it. That's all.
Those were the challenges where maybe I wasn't there because I did not go in the chopper. I was in the backyard, the front yard, the side yard, in
closet.
the house, under the house.
The basement. Was there a basement?
Yeah, there was. That's where the Untalented show happened, in the basement.
Oh, Bryce called it. Wow, look at that.
Speaking of that untalented show,
Speaking of that Untalented show, Reza, you let it all hang out. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sad I didn't see
And you
it.
should have
I would've
won.
Loved it.
That's where me and Davon really, in my heart, I was like, oh, this girl is playing too. That's when I felt that energy. You guys, she was voting not based off of talents, but she was voting based off of math, right? She was doing GOAT math in her head to see who would win GOAT. She wasn't basing it off of talent. So for me, being in the house with her was misery. For me, on a personal level, she's a marvelous competitor. I keep telling you guys, she is a competition beast. I took one look at her quads and I was like, FloJo is going to win this thing, okay? There is no getting in her way. She's taking it home. So for me, it wasn't fun being in a house with her. She was playing with me. I was just a little nut. She was rolling around, keeping me around for as long as she felt like I needed to be there.
Rez, let me ask a question because Wendell didn't answer this question. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
And please forgive me, or maybe getting a little bit off topic. So, you're doing your performance and there's a lot happening in the back. What was happening from the back that they had to blur out?
So I will tell you, although Paula and I are very cool and we enjoyed each other's company, she did come up to me and go, my family, they're going to watch the show. And this is no good. All these nasty hanging out. Da, 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 da. So
the girls were out in the back.
I don't know if the girls were out, the crack was out. I just tell you that these 50-year-old knees, ankles, I was like, my neck, my back. And it wasn't in a good way. It was like they broke in my neck. You guys, limbo. I'm from Iran. My parents are Persian. I didn't grow up watching my parents have limbo parties. They were fancy. I didn't even like limbo. And then everyone had costumes and accoutrement, making their whole presentation more pleasurable. I had 2 sticks and a pole. And I'm like, I'm 50, 2 sticks and a pole. What am I going to do? Bend down? Once, twice, 3 times a lady? I'm not going to win this competition. This is no good. So I looked around and whatever was left, they didn't tell me to dress like a drag queen beast, like a Middle Eastern transsexual drunk that bum that they pulled out of some gutter somewhere. They didn't ask me to do that. I did that all on my own.
Reza, you deserve. We just had this conversation a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
You got I think 83 points. Day got 87 points. I think, and you got that with her giving you a 1 or a 2. Like your performance with what you were given and just your showmanship and the hilarity, it was by far the best performance we had. And I was just trying to communicate to my brothers that you deserved that win. And that that did was showed a lot of people how hard and how early Davon was playing so hard in the game. That's what I was trying to communicate to my bro.
Yes. So was that the nut that the squirrel was playing with in that talent show?
100%. Yeah, she was playing with me. And I could have come in and been that rich, fancy bitch that didn't want to get my hands dirty, that was like, this is all beneath me. I drive this, I have that, and I'm not gonna. And that wasn't me. And so for me, I was playing like I was wearing my heart on my sleeve. I was playing hard. I wanted to participate and show up and do my most. And so it was, it was those two things coming to a head that was like, oh, I have no space to exist here because there's so much at play that I'm not even taking into consideration.
The one thing I'll say about you coming in and being so open to play and have fun, a lot of times Bryce says like, I'm like a real serious guy, and our friendship has kind of like loosened me up as far as like allowing me to do silly stuff. And I think that you came into the show willing to let your guard down and make a great show. And you were really good at that and having fun and the entertainment value and all of that. And you played very hard. And I'm this guy who's like, I'm a gamer, but I tried to be loose here and there and do some silly stuff here and there. And I think
I applaud you. I would watch you. You're a diplomat. You're like an ambassador in the house. You were gliding between groups. Everyone loved you. You were on another level with your shit.
Well, thank you.
Reza, do you know what Wendell used to want to be when he was growing up?
No, but please enlighten me.
He used to want to be an ambassador.
Yeah. Stop.
Yeah. At an embassy. He has mentioned that. That's why he talks the way he talks.
Also, yes. I've never seen a Persian cornhole like what we saw at that pool party.
He said, Persian cornhole.
I was like, what is happening? But A+ on the dive, though, Reza. A+ on the dive.
Thank you.
But to get to the
to actually get to.
Yes. So this challenge was take me out. So it's process of elimination. Tasha's letting everybody know, like, hey, you get the answer. I think it's another unspelling bee, kind of like
word
scramble. Yeah, word scramble. And then Tosh will let whoever gets the question right, he'll be like, hey, who do you want to pop their balloon of oatmeal?
Yes.
What else happened, Wendell? Or Reza, please.
The problem was there's no veto. There's no golden motherfucking veto. I'm looking for the Zing bot and the veto, and they were nowhere to be found. So in this competition, if you got your word right, you got to pop someone's balloon. So even if I spelled all my words right, that like lady power that I was talking about, they were locked and loaded, knowing that if they got their words right, they were going to pop my balloons. They had already decided what was going on. Jill gave Justin a candle in the house, and I went in the room and I saw her candle and I grabbed it, and I was so irritated with her. I grabbed that candle and I smashed it on the counter, and it broke into a million pieces, and I felt so good. I grabbed the trash can, I put all the broken pieces in it, wiped my tears off, and got back to what I was doing, and like had a moment. But from that morning when I woke up and every step that we took, I knew what was coming. And there was no way to save yourself, because the way the game was structured, you didn't have that option. It was winning the GOAT or you're screwed.
Well, it's winning the GOAT, which, they annihilated us at that GOAT challenge. Jill wins. But then we also have this team challenge the next day, which Jill is with Day, so they figure out teams where they put a target on both sides. And I think maybe we're jumping forward. I mean, we did have the pool party. We talked about Persian cornhole. We talked about Jill and Day just kind of like leaving to strategize despite us having fun. But yeah, we have
over the slime. CJ's over the slime. She's over it. She's done with the slime. She's like, we're done.
But this is the one where you and Day were on the same team, right? It was you, Jill, Day, and Jason.
So Jill, as the GOAT, wants to make her team strong at the same time, putting targets on both sides. So
but she called them fair, even. She goes, these teams are real even. I'm gonna make some even teams. And then at the elimination, I'm sitting there and she's giving this fake ass speech again about how these teams are so even, and I couldn't take it anymore. I was like,
Well, Rez, let's look at these teams on paper.
Yes.
Joe, you, Pal, CJ. That's a scary looking team just looking at them, right? You got Jill Zarin, Jason, me and Day. Okay, me and Day, we're you know, when it comes to the strategy games, we're pretty solid. But looking at these teams, y'all got a team. In a balancing challenge, when Joe has size 20 sneakers, but she doesn't know. She doesn't.
Are they Skechers? What size sneakers does Joe have?
By the way, Chef Jason told me once the situation changed and the sleeping arrangements evolved, he was a lot closer to Joe and witnessed the silhouette and the heft of it all multiple times. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna try to stay on topic because that just big feet. But this challenge that you guys did do, I will say, just so Wendell knows, it is like played in Big Brother, and I actually won this challenge. So but
you got little feet.
I do not have little feet. I have
little dainty feet, good for balance.
No, I don't. No, yeah. I did good in the balance challenge, but no, I don't have little feet. Stop making fun of my feet, motherfucker. I have nice, big, thick, bare feet. Leave me alone. Okay.
I wonder if we would have been able to walk that challenge barefoot. If that would have even helped. Now, we did this challenge in Survivor too. It's like
also,
yeah.
Can I just say one thing? Tosh is really, I think Tosh is like one of the girls, because you notice how he was talking about earlier in the competition. He talking about let's eat ass.
That's not just
but that's not strict to any.
That's not just a gay thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Unless you use jelly or not jelly.
Or the you definitely don't
know
want
about that video. Do you guys know about that video?
I know about the jelly or not.
Yeah,
but also I don't think chunky peanut butter would be good if you were eating the behind. What did you think about that comparison, Wendell? You're not creamy to chunky peanut butter.
Yeah, I think where did I have? I had that note. She called me chunky peanut butter, and what was she trying to say there?
That you're not smooth, like you're not smooth like peanut butter. You're the chunky.
That's fine. Davon is one of the best strategists in the house. She can recognize game, and if I make a move that disturbs her alliance early in the game, she wants to say that, you know, F you and this, that, and you're not smooth and this and that. I recognize your game, Davon. You have great game. I think you recognize my game. My track record speaks for itself. And sure, I'm chunky peanut butter. I'm not smooth. Cool.
But I will say this. The morning after Lauren Speed Hamilton went home, Davon never came out of her room. And when she did come out, she didn't talk to anyone. And we went right into the next thing. And Wendell said something to her, like, you know, maybe don't be in your feelings, maybe acknowledge the rest of the people in the house, maybe don't be in that zone. And he tried to get her to snap out of it, but she wouldn't. And it was very telling because up until that point, everything was kind of going her way, the way she had wanted things to go. And she came to me and had this Justin is going home conversation. And it was kind of amazing because I just listened to her and I knew that by this time, you know, my days were numbered because I was Justin's homie and I was kind of anti-Da'Vonne. But to be in her presence, the competition queen that she is, and how she had stacked everything, but to know the outcome wasn't going to go her way and to keep a straight face and not do anything about it, I was very proud of myself because I locked eyes on her. She was sitting in the GOAT chair and they started counting the votes. And I wanted to look in her eye when she realized that it wasn't going to go her way. And for me, that moment was worth 250, not 200, 250. That was 250. Because this nut, after rolling around that house, I felt like I was in a pinball machine. But that was like vindication. I was on the inside. I was warm. I was fuzzy. I was doing.
Were you the squirrel? Was that your squirrel moment? Were you the squirrel in that
squirrel moment? I felt like a squirrel. Finally, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Wendell helped with that. Wendell came in. He had a notebook. Beautiful architectural writing on it.
We know
about this, Reza.
And he got me. Stop it, Reza.
Bryce, he got me activated. He lit a fire in me. I was like, let's do this.
Wendell really was working you gays. Y'all were just eating it up.
I felt like the whip in the House of, you know, in Congress.
House cards.
Yes, I felt like the whip. I was going around politicking, getting info here and there. I just was like, I felt like Martha Wash, It's Raining Man. I felt so good. It just like, he changed the game for me in a really meaningful way. And when I tell you my experience, these moments that I got to have because of Wendell are invaluable to me.
It's crazy that you bring me back to these. I do forget a lot of things, and like you're reminding me of things. Yes, I'm forgetful. Yes, but that was a really cool thing because we all did a good acting job of like, we don't have the numbers. And we just like kept it low until the right moment when it was just like, we got the numbers. Anyway,
Reza,
Joe wins.
I hear you talking a lot about all this that you have learned from like seeing the mastermind that Da'Vonne is and everything that Wendell has like taught you. When you play another game or season again, do you think you're going to go into it a little different, or you think you're still just going to go into it like, what's up? Who want to play cornhole?
No, I want to go in and be like, what's up? And if how I'm playing gets me to where I need to be, wonderful. But I'm not going to be that person who pulls everyone together and says, I need to throw this competition because you need to trust me because I want to get this one other person out. That's not going to be me. Maybe one day if I do Survivor and I don't know anyone and I'm doing regular Survivor, I don't know. Maybe I would. But I'm going to go into the house and I'm going to be a professional with a docuseries background who had a wonderful opportunity to play with amazing game players like Da'Vonne. But Wendell's a different player. Wendell balances his game in a way where, from my experience of watching two people that I never knew who are both so accomplished at games, Wendell already won $1 million. Da'Vonne almost, you guys are telling me, almost won multiple shows, and it's evident. But Wendell's game is much more balanced. I think everyone on the show follows Wendell. Everyone on the show does not follow Da'Vonne. Everyone on the show, when we had our press grouping, I had a different grouping than what I ended up with. But then I heard that either Pau and Da'Vonne or Da'Vonne and Pau didn't want to be together. So then it was supposed to be me, Da'Vonne, and Kristen. And I emailed my manager and I said, don't let this go any further than you. But being with Da'Vonne is like being with Jill for me. Like, I'm not going to enjoy my press, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I don't want production to know and I don't want to be that guy who's difficult. And wouldn't you know it, I sit down, I'm sitting, no one's there. Kristen hadn't shown up yet, and someone showed up and told me Davon wasn't going to be joining us and that I was going to get to do my press with Tech. And it was like, oh my God, I didn't say anything, and it kind of went my way anyway because we didn't connect. I had relationships with all these other people on the show, and I wanted to do my press and be loud and gay and fabulous and not feel like I'm sitting next to the squirrel and feel like the fucking nut.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have a question to get back to game. Unless you guys have anything to that statement. This is a question for. This is a statement and a question for Bryce and Derek, especially Derek. In Survivor, just being a Survivor fan for mad long, I've watched in the history of Survivor 20 whatever years when people try to throw challenges or something in the Survivor community, that's super frowned upon to where it's as if the Survivor gods are even frowning on you. And I would take that as you may, but it just seems like bad things happen to the people that throw challenges in this game that I know and love so much. I don't know Big Brother. I don't watch it too much. I do know that coming into the GOAT, throwing a challenge, it's not in my DNA, my pedigree, my wheelhouse. It's just something that I don't go to doing. Although I know that if you're thinking game, if you throw a challenge, you can, feasibly get people out. Derek, I think my question is more so, is this something that happens in Big Brother? This is what y'all do. How regular is it? Is it something that usually yields good results?
I think it does. It depends. It depends on your alliance, who you're working with. But, that's what it is. It's happened. It happened on my season. I mean, like, Hannah and Derek X threw some challenges. Xavier threw some challenges. We talked about times that we needed, certain members of the cookout to not win. So then one member can win and take out, our plus ones and things like that. So it depends on your alliance. So I think Davon, when she was doing that, it was a part of making sure she can get rid of the person that she wants to get rid of. And that's why she purposely put them on my team. I mean, on her team, excuse me.
Let me just correct you real quick, Wendell, because it's like I feel like you're saying like somebody that throws a challenge, but it's not just for me. It's not throwing a challenge; it's deception, and I think that Survivor is built off of deception with fake idols, lying to people. So, like, I don't want you to just.
That's our way of doing stuff because we can't make a fake veto or a fake HOH. So it's like we can only throw the challenge and make sure
or backdoor a motherfucker
or backdoor somebody. Yep, that's all we got.
No, Survivor is predicated on deception. You're right, Bryce, but I'm talking about specifically throwing challenges and specifically how
there have been people in the Survivor realm that have thrown challenges that are beloved in the community for making that move. So, I mean,
I'm not talking about the anomalies. I'm talking about, generally speaking, when people throw. How does Jeff feel about that?
Are we talking about Jeff? Or are we talking about?
I literally said it's the Survivor gods that frown upon this, and bad things sometimes happen to those people. And
they're beloved. So sometimes, you could be the squirrel or the nut. You want to be.
Bryce, I'm not talking about 100% of the time. I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the exceptions. I'm talking about the rule. But I was just asking.
Here,
you know what? I was asking Derek, someone who finished in the final 2 of his season.
I'm trying to pin us against
Reza, you see what your friend trying to do?
Yeah,
where's the diplomatic stance at?
Don't do. Let me just put a nut. I'm gonna put a thing in the nut, okay? Because I love a good nut, a hefty nut at that, okay? And Reza, you let me know when you're ready to give me the nut, okay? But here's the thing I'm trying to say, right? Listen. I'm single, okay? Leave me alone, Wendell.
Reza's married, right?
This is my friend.
That's fine. They could be married. You don't know their situation. They might be able to dibble-dabble. You don't know.
No. The answer is no.
Whatever. Listen, all I have to say is, yes, I think Bryce is 100% right. people throw competitions to further their game or whatever. It happens in all competition shows. It depends on where you're at in the stage. Big Brother, does it happen more often? Yes, depending on the alliance, the situation, what's happening. If not, you get a blind side, you get a back door, you get all that other crazy stuff. So in this situation with Da'Vonne doing that move, it made sense because she wanted to get rid of somebody. She put them on her team and she made sure
to Derek, lose. Let me ask you this. What if the person you're trying to get rid of, you're getting rid of them for personal, emotional, like you got caught in your feelings, you had a little altercation, like you got into a little argument that had nothing to do with anything other than personal issues. And she automatically went into, oh, he's got to go. And so like she was so focused on getting him out of the house because it didn't work out for her. Lauren ended up going home and she was like, oh, they're not going to let it go, with the votes. Let it go with, I think that's
go ahead.
I feel like the way I guess that happens in Big Brother too. It's just the first season of the show. Not everyone was a game player. And I feel like it didn't land the way she thought it was going to land.
Mm-hmm. And I talked about this a couple episodes ago. I will say this. Yes, I think Da'Vonne was very emotional because of the fact that, Justin came to her and was like, girl, let's talk like not game, like how you've been speaking about. And I can understand that. I think that Da'Vonne did throw a tantrum like, I'm going to quit. I'm done, blah, blah, like all that. I thought that was too much. So I think that she was playing emotional, but it's like, when someone kind of comes at you, and I know what that feels like, you're always focused on that one person because you feel like you disrespected me and I don't like that. And here's the thing that I have realized when it comes to these competition shows. When you have a camera in your face and people are watching you, you don't want anyone to bitch you down. That's the one thing that triggers all of us, especially I'm also very emotional too. And I have players that I wanted out so badly just because of the fact that I didn't like them and we got into it. Once we got into it, it's hard for me to now turn off, think strategically. I'm thinking, I got to get that motherfucker. So that's what was happening. And I understand where she was coming from, but I also understand as a game point of view, I wouldn't be targeting. I wouldn't target Alyssa Edwards ever.
I think she got derailed a little bit. I feel like how she just stayed focused on being the amazing competitor that she is and was. I feel like it took her mind down a road that wasn't going to be fruitful in the end.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I agree to that, Reza, right? Because I feel like, and knowing the Day that I know, and of course I love Day. I also think that she was playing two games. I think that she was playing the GOAT game. And I also think that she was kind of like playing the Twitter, social media.
I was going to say redemption.
Right.
Also game. Like I want to show everyone I've been messed over all these years. I have to show everybody I'm a competitor.
Right.
She hasn't played for a while. So it's like, this game is right up her alley. It's not Big Brother. Because I know she's probably like, I never want to do that again. She's like, oh, but it's going to be like that? We live in the house. We vote people out? Great.
Bryce, what do you mean? Okay, so you got her playing the GOAT game. You got her playing the redemption game. What do you mean when you say the Twitter game?
Like, I feel like, it got so personal. And I feel like she's like, I need to make sure I get this person so like I could say like it looks favorable for me outside of the GOAT. And so I think that like that could have maybe got lost in translation. And it's like, no, sis, just stick to the GOAT game because for sure you're better than Wendell. And for sure, I know in my heart of hearts, you can beat a Wendell. So
Because can I also say something that Wendell said this episode that I don't want him to think that I didn't write it down? Wendell said Big Brother players are shady motherfuckers. Now, Wendell, I'm right here.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I think I said mofos, and I don't think you even saw my lips say it. So who knows what was really
Derek.
said. I don't think you even saw my lips say that. Okay,
so
go ahead and rewatch it.
They might have been torn up a little bit.
I don't know, babe. I think you said it. because I wrote it down. Wendell said Big Brother players are shady, as you said, mofos, whatever. Same thing.
Well,
Did
where's
you
the
see my
lie,
lips
Derek?
say any of that?
How do Big Brother people feel about former Big Brother people becoming porn stars after Big Brother?
Wait, what? Do I?
That cutie from back in the day that I watched. He became a porn
That's
star.
Derek's
He
question.
almost won. You didn't
That's a
know?
Derek question.
Derek, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Is he talking about
Wow.
Zach?
That cutie, the blonde one. And then he had a travel show for a minute.
Mm.
Oh, you talking about? Oh no, I thought you
Is
said
this
talking about Ozzy.
Now that's Survivor.
Derek, who he talking about?
I
forget
don't
his
know, but
name.
Jill's team wins this challenge. And, you know, Paula, she's really pissed and upset about being on a losing team. And, of course, Reza is also upset that Jill didn't pick him on the team. And why
Okay.
was that?
Yeah.
Well, I knew from the way Jill was talking to me. One day in the house, Jill said to me, she's like, listen, you're not the target, but don't ask me why. And I'm thinking, bitch, Tayshia already told us there's a girl alliance. Don't be telling me something and I can't tell you why. When Tayshia and Joe are keeping it 100 with one another, she is saying to him, there's a girly alliance and your ass is at risk. Jill didn't give me that respect. The way Jill would talk to me was like the way she was talking on the show. Like Davon was the head and she was the neck. You know, like, I don't like that.
And there was a lot of like, and early on, I thought, again, I had a conversation with you and Jill, like, yo, we can do this, which didn't really go anywhere because I saw how tight Jill and Day were. But from my stance, I'm like, I'd love to go to the end with Jill, you know? And I think, and her whole thing was, we got to break these guys up because I'm next, you're next. No, like, homegirl, you're not next. Like, I'd love to go to the end with you. So, like, they were so focused on this guys thing. And I mean, last episode, they started breaking it apart. This episode, they take their shot at my guy, Rez.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I learned so much. I don't regret anything. I'm so glad that I was there. I don't live my life with regrets. I just sorry for the things that I did. If they end up hurting people, I try and learn from all of my actions, whether they're mistakes or gifts or blessings or whatever, and I keep it pushing. After I got eliminated and we all got back together many days later to shoot the reunion, Wendell came up to me. He's like, Jill's worried. Don't be a dick. And I was like, don't worry, I won't be a dick. And because of Wendell, I was cool. We didn't do anything. And he was the consummate diplomat the whole way through, not just while we were in the house, but afterwards too. He was like all the good stuff you want to be when you play a competition show.
Thanks, Rez. Thank you. You've been complimenting me all show, and I appreciate it because my brothers just they like to just shoot at me.
That's how I am. That's how I am with my people.
Rez, I'm gonna do like how you did, Jill, with Wendell.
How about when he was doing it? And Tosh was like,
and Tosh walked up behind him.
He was like, your goat, sir.
They were trying to get me to say something else. They're like, do you want to say anything else? I was like, no, I want to make sure this gets in. They're like, don't worry. Say something other than fuck Jill.
Guys, do we have anything more for Reza?
I love Reza.
Reza has something to do.
I'm going to slide into his DMs. I'm on my way.
Oh, anything else, gentlemen?
Reza, I love you. I think
I love you guys. I hope that this blows up and is the most successful recap show of any recap show. You guys have been such a pleasure. Derek, this was an honor. And Bryce and Wendell, you guys already know how I feel about both of you.
Man, we appreciate you so much, Reza. You are a gem. This was probably our most exciting episode we've had this season. You dropped bombs. This was almost like a deep dive. We'd love to have you back later after the season, after we see what happens.
Whenever you want.
But thank you so much. This has been episode 6 of the Goat Pod. Goat Pod. We will see you guys next week for episode 7. Peace.
The GOAT is the GOAT. It's the give it GOAT. The GOAT is the GOAT. It's the ever GOAT. The GOAT. I got a little tied up on that, but it's the GOAT.